So what's up, traders? Obviously, this will be a short version of the broadcast that we made earlier. Unfortunately, um, the Restream.io, or the website that we are using to broadcast it live in YouTube, was unable to capture my first recording, the audio of my first recording. So hopefully we can capture as much as possible as we can in the limited time before I start working my 2:30 to 11:30 job every day. So let's start with the forex market. Again, the format of this live recording is we are going to check its chart of forex pairs that we are trading, and then using the three indicators that we have: the trend follower, the first confirmation, and the second confirmation. We are going to try to see if we were if we are able to get any possible trade of the day. If we can cover most of this, including the oil, silver, and uranium, and also crypto, that would be very good. And but if not, then we will do this again by tomorrow. So let's start. The first pair that we are going to check is AUDJPY. On the daily chart, it is uptrend, and as of the moment, the price is already far from the 50 baseline that we are using as a market structure. And since I am in this trade, you see those line. That is my entry, and this one here is my support. This green line here is the R1. That means that I need to capture or to exit my first half of the trade. So yeah, let's check if this one, if I am not on this trade and looking into the price, I will not consider getting into this trade, because as I've said earlier, the price already gone far from its baseline. So what I usually do is next to the next pair. The next pair that we have is NCD, and so the next pair is AUDCAD, and on the daily chart it is an uptrend. The price break down from the baseline and approaching the 200 baseline. So this is the case wherein I just wait for the price to settle here, and see if the price action will give us a good entry using our 1 hour time frame. Next is AUDCHF. AUDCHF is uptrend, and obviously the price is far from 200 from 50 baseline, so I will skip this trade as well and proceed with the next pair. The next pair is AUDJPY. I discussed this earlier that I am on this trade and still up because the price is above that yellow horizontal line there, or white, sorry. The next pair is AUD NCD, and the price is just above the 200 baseline, but the 50 baseline is still below it, so I am not considering this as a possible trade of the day. But in the next few days, when the 50 baseline will be above or across that 200 baseline, then we will check the 1 hour time frame and see if we will get a good entry trigger on that time frame as well. So the next pair is CAD CHF. Obviously, this pair is in uptrend, but the price of it is far from the market structure, which is the 50 baseline. So we will skip this one and just check it on every 4-hour interval if there is a possibility that the price is going back to the baseline. The next pair that we have is CAD-JPY, the same with CAD-CHF. It is currently on uptrend, but the price is already far from our baseline, so we will skip this one as well. So the next is CHFJPY. I think this one is a candidate for our trade because I already flagged it. So the the pair is in an uptrend because the price is above the baseline. Although it break down this uh, baseline here, our 50 baseline, but today it shows that it is bouncing on that area. So we will check if in the 1 hour time frame it will have a good entry trigger. So what our entry trigger, we are looking for long bias or long trade, and by that we are also looking for good long signals. These indicators, the trend follower, the confirmation 1 and the confirmation 2, must be in confluence before we execute our trade. So in our trend follower indicator, we should have a long stop, which is this green line here, and the price must be at least above the 50 baseline, which in this case is both true. Then we can say that trend follower is a good signal at this moment. Then we will go to the next indicator, which is the confirmation, and it also gave us a good buy signal in this area. So trend follower and confirmation is now in confluence. The next and the last indicator that we use is the confirmation 2, which should be in the buy zone, which obviously on the buy zone now because the market sentiment is at 50.343. It is above 50 zone, which is our buy zone, and the RSI already crossed that red line there. So we have a good confluence of our three indicators, which means this is a good time to buy. So what we can do is to set the stop loss using the 4-hour time frame, and I have did this already earlier today, which in this pair we have 115.878. So the next thing to do is to pull out our risk calculator and input the pair that we are going to trade, which in this case CHFJPY, and then set our stop loss, which is 115.878, and then the current price is 116.673. The risk percent that I use is 0.2%. That will give us a 40 US dollar risk. So given that parameters, the calculator give us a 0.5 standard lot. So the next thing to do is again, that is 0.5, since we are, or I am usually trading in two tranches, I will make it a 0.3 per tranche. So let me find the pair in my MT4 app, which is CHFJPY. CHFJPY, we have it here. new order, set the lot size to 3, 0.03, and then click buy. So we have our uh, first tranche, and then let's order another for the second tranche, which is again new order that is 0.03 in size, and then just click the buy button. Now that we have it in our trade, the next thing to do is set the stop loss on those orders. So we modify the first tranche and set the stop loss to 116.673. Oh, I'm sorry, that is 115.878. Then the other tranche should be set on that stop loss as well, 115.878. Then modify. And since I am also practicing for the 80,000 trading account in Fibers, I have a practice account set to 80k with the same uh, percentage of risk for every trade. So I am now on my practice account for the 80k account, and then I will also find CHFJPY here. So then order buy. So I have the CHFJPY first tranche, and then the next one is new order for CHFJPY as well, and hit buy. Then since we have a position, the next thing to do is set the stop loss to make sure that we are on our risk management. The stop loss is again 115.878. Modify and do the same thing on the uh, second tranche, which is 115.878. Okay, so we are good for this trade now. The next thing to do is we will manage this until we have the exit signal, the the stop loss will be hit, or the price of this trade will go in our favor. So since we already executed that trade, I will add it in my active trade account, uh, active trade list, and then move it into the list of forex pairs, and then remove the flag. Then do a save. CHFJPY is now one of my active position in FX. So the next pair in that we need to review is Euro AUD. So Euro AUD is in a downtrend, and the price is not attractive because it is way below the 50 baseline. So I will remove the flag and just revisit this and reanalyze if we will have a good price in the market structure that we use. So the next pair is EUROCAD, one of my position as well. And at this point, I am still on this trade and review the 4-hour time frame if it will give us a exit signal. So since we are in a short trade in here, what we are looking for as as an exit signal is that the price should be above this short stop, and then the confirmation will give us a long signal, and the confirmation 2 must be heading towards the buy zone, which is at this moment those three exit indicators doesn't show yet. So meaning it is good to hold this trade until those signals shows into us. Next on the list is Euro CHF. Euro CHF on a daily is in uptrend, but we will skip this because obviously the price is way far from the baseline. Next is Euro GBP. Also, I am on this trade, and the same. What we usually do is check the 4-hour time frame if we have a um, exit signal. But obviously, at as of this point, we don't have any, so we will hold this trade and check every 4 hours. So the next pair is EUROJPY. It's in an uptrend, but the price is way far from the baseline, so we'll skip this as well. Euro NCD. It's in a downtrend, but the price is not attractive because it is not yet closer enough in the 50 baseline. GBPCAD is in an uptrend, and the price is very attractive because it sits just above the 50 baseline. So the next thing to do is check the 1 hour time frame if we have a good um, entry trigger. So now that we have here in the 1 hour time frame, trend follower is having a stop buy stop, but the price is not yet above the 50 baseline, which is one of our requirements as a good entry trigger. So we will just flag it and revisit it every 4 hours and see if the signals improve. So the next pair is GBPCHF. Um, it is still in the downtrend, but the price is way far from the baseline. So we will skip this pair for now. GBP JPY is the same. It is an uptrend, but it is not attractive for us to go into trade because the price already shoots up and far from our 50 baseline in here. So we'll go to the next pair, which is GBPAUD. GBPAUD just broke out from the 200 baseline, which is a sign that a possible uptrend is starting. So this will be confirmed once that 50 baseline also crossed that 200 baseline indicator. So once we have that, then we will revisit 1 hour time frame if we can get a good entry trigger. GBP NCD is the next. Obviously, it is the same as GBP AUD. It crossed 200 baseline in our trend follower, but the 50 baseline is still below it. Until we see that cross in the 200 baseline, then we will check 1 hour if we will get a good entry trigger on that time frame. So the next pair is NCDCAD. NCDCAD is still on an uptrend. It broke down the 50 baseline and now currently heading into this 200 baseline. So there is a possibility that the price will go that 200 baseline and test it. And if we will see a bounce from here, then we will revisit 1 hour time frame if we can get a long entry trigger on that. So until then, we will just monitor NCDCAD in a 4 hour time interval. Next is NCDCHF. So NCDCHF is still an uptrend, but the price is above too far from the 50 baseline, so we will skip this one. Next is NCDJPY, the same, but I am already on this trade and I am still down on a few pips. And the next thing to do is I will check on the 4 hour if I need to exit. So obviously I will not exit and will continue to hold this one because the price is far from my stop loss, and confirmation 2 is still telling me that there is a probability that this trade will go up. And as well with the second confirmation, uh, it is now in the buy zone, so there's no reason for me to take out this trade for at this moment because of those parameters until I can see that those exit signal is complete. Then I will go out on this trade. So next pair is NCDUSD. Now we are starting to review the chart of the majors. First, NCDUSD. It's still on an uptrend, but the price already break the 50 baseline and now heading back to the 200 baseline to retest it. And currently, it is the candle is showing a bullish momentum. So we will see that. If that will continue, then we should see a good uh, sign in 1 hour for confirmation that the trend is already heading back to that uh, uptrend again. So until that indicators materialize, we will just wait and see the USD. So Euro USD. So for Euro USD, the same. It's now on the uptrend and currently testing the 200 baseline here. And the candle is showing a bounce. So in this case, we will check if that bounce is confirmed on 1 hour time frame. So obviously, it is not at this moment because trend followers still have that sell stop. The confirmation 2 has given its buy signal, and confirmation 2 is still on the sell zone. So we need to have these three indicators in confluence before we can say that the uptrend is confirmed. So for now, we will just wait and monitor Euro USD. Next is GBPUSD. The same, I think it's the same, but instead of testing the 200 baseline, it is testing and trying to bounce on this 50 baseline. So the same, let's try to check if we can have a good uh, long indicator or confirmation on the 1 hour time frame. And currently, we don't have any. So we don't see any buy stop, although we have the price still or already above the 50 baseline, but we need to confirm from the confirmation 2 to go into that buy zone before we can enter on this trade. So until then, we will just need to monitor GBPUSD. Next is AUDUSD. AUDUSD is the same, it's in the uptrend, but as of the moment, it is undecisive because the price is just below the 50 baseline. We need that to go back into that zone there before we can check the 1 hour. So next is USDCHF. USDCHF is starting to create a new trend, which is uptrend, but the 50 baseline is still below the 200, so it is not yet confirmed. So what we can do here is we will just wait for that indicator to come and cross the 200 baseline. So the last one in the forex pair that we are reviewing is USDJPY, and the same as USDCHF, it is now on the uptrend, but it is not yet confirmed because the 50 baseline is still below it. So until then, we will just need to monitor this pair and avoid entering the trade because it is still low probability, at least for our RAFX trading strategy. Okay, so we have reviewed um, forex pair. So unfortunately, I will not be able to proceed on oil, silver, uranium, and crypto because it is almost time for me to check in into my corporate job. So we will do this again tomorrow, daily chart review. So obviously we can stay on the same schedule every day and review the charts. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you get the value for this broadcast.